Did you know that celebrating birthdays has scientifically proven benefits? Well, I've found research from universities like Indiana, Duke, and Connecticut that show that celebrations like this strengthen relationships, boost emotional well being, and even reduce stress. So stick around because today we are making two heartfelt birthday cards for friends whose special days sometimes get lost in the holiday shuffle. Hi, I'm Sherry from Creating Sherry, and I'm thrilled that you're here. And before we dive in, remember to hit like. And of course, if you are interested in learning more about how creativity strengthens relationships, you'll want to keep coming back because that's sort of my thing. So subscribe for more videos. And friends, let's get going and get creating.
All right, so I have cranked the speed up on this part of the video so that you can see me do lots of die cutting. As you heard in the intro, I am making two cards. I have two friends whose birthdays are between Christmas and New Year's, so that's who these were for. And I wanted these cards to have some similarity, but I wanted them to also be different enough that they felt unique for each of my friends. I'm not trying to make two cookie cutter cards that are the same. I'm trying to make two unique ones, but the elements had a lot in favor of each other, if you will. So these die plates that I took out, one has a sort of punched effect that makes it look quilted, and then the other one had more of a quilting effect. And what you'll see in a second here is that I realized one of them has cutting edges on the full outside of it, and one did not. So you'll see me come out with the paper cutter later to trim that down. Now, I think a birthday card with a sentiment is a wonderful thing, and I love this happy birthday. I took some of this very psychedelic silver paper and made one of my happy birthdays out of that, and then took this black glitter paper. Don't know if that shows up particularly well on camera, but I wanted it to have still some sparkle, but because it was for a male friend, I also was going for a bit of a masculine touch with darker colors here. So this die cut has a nice shadow back behind it, so you see me cutting those out. And now, because I want these to be a wintry scene, I'm taking just some different scraps of green that I had in my scrap bin, and I am doing different sort of pine boughs and just different shapes of boughs. This is going to give me some nice texture and layering, because you'll see in a second here that I pull out a few different styles of dies. One of the things I like about making a card with different elements from different products is that it becomes quite unique, and I can pick out favorite pieces. Ooh, speaking of favorite pieces, here's where we go. So this honeybee set captured my heart. This is layering dies, which I haven't done a lot with. And let me tell you, it's a bit like ninja level jigsaw puzzling. You can see that they've included a style sheet for instructions, and like a good chef, I always like to try a new recipe, so to say, the way that the originator wanted me to. So I am following along with the same colors that they recommended, the same layers, and the same order that they have on their style sheet. I go through and I actually am cutting out, for those of you who have a very keen eye, two of each of everything. And I'm doing that because I thought if these cards turn out well, I want to put a couple in my stash too. Do you do that? Do you do only unique cards on demand for people that you're giving them to? Or do you keep a couple in your stash? Well, let me tell you, these turned out darling, so there's a couple in my stash. All right, so a cardinal and a chickadee here in Northern Ontario. These birds are naturals that are here with us all the time, so I felt like this was a good sentiment from me. Making the cardinal again, I just picked three different reds to layer in, and I keep going back to that style sheet to make sure I'm sort of getting the right tone of what they have suggested, because I want to have really nice results. And like I said, I think following their instructions from the beginning is great. After that, I will try different things. I have seen some things where people have made blue jays out of this die set, and I'll get there. I'll try it. But for right now, I'm following the instructions. Yes, I am. Okay, so there we are. Now we want to be able to take these impossibly small little pieces. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, small, small, small. Look at that beak. And I cut these out as well, but they're so worth it. All right, friends, we've got all these pieces cut out. You can see I've got two of everything in my little piles there. Now I'm going to get my glue. This is a workhorse in my studio. If you've watched any of my videos, you know my Sweet Petunia is a favorite manufacturer of mine, and the glue press is a great product. So started out here, putting these layers on together. Now the tweezers that I'm using stay closed when you're not tweezing them, pinching them, which means that they make extra pair of hands for me, really. Look at that face. It goes on and it's so magical. Oh my gosh, wait. The beak. Yes, it's a cardinal, my friends. It's a cardinal. And then impossibly small little details with the eyes and these tiny little feet. Oh my goodness. I have great appreciation for anybody that can do this level of paper crafting all the time. I needed a break after this. I'm not going to lie. In fact, you can see I pushed aside the second cardinal to just go for it with the chickadee. And I was a little puzzled here. I was checking the instructions and it really did tell me to put the gray down first, but it kind of looked like I should have put it down second. Anyways, I went ahead and did it the way that the instructions told me, and it turned out marvelously. This one also had an incredibly small little eye and beak, and they were sort of tone on tone, a gray on a black. Turned out beautiful. Okay, didn't really mean to push those other ones quite aside the way I did. So let's bring out, so all those elements and branches that I've just making two piles, if you will, with. I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer and cut down that background. This is the one that did not have the cutting edge around the die. It's more of a quilted effect. I'm going to make these top folding cards. So my score buddy, my friend, my pal, and I am making these bases, if you will. Now, I'm taking these arches. I love this. It's a new set for me. I just got it from Paper Crafters Workshop last year, and I have been making tons of fun little arches in my cards. It's been wonderful. I saw my friend Judy do a card with it and just fell in love. So I went out and got myself a set of nesting dies like that. Now what I'm doing here is just taking the different elements. This is a sort of darker brown color here. I've got some nice earthy greens. I feel like the pop of the cardinal is going to make this really great. And I just want the idea of the bird sitting in the branches, and maybe this archway is sort of a little bit like a window or just a nice design element that we have here. Watch carefully, because what I do next is I actually take these next two branches and put them on the back of the cardinal before securing that down. That actually just allowed me to kind of hide a few of the stems behind the cardinal's body, but still make it look very natural with the way the branches are wrapped around the cardinal. Same idea over here with my little chickadee. The first thing I do is figure out sort of my layout. Now, have you ever used it when you make a layout and then take what's the saran wrap product that's kind of sticky as well? You put it down and then put it all back together. I'm telling you, that's ninja level stuff over there. I did not do that. I just eyeballed it and came up with something that I liked and thought I could sort of remember, if you will. And if it didn't turn out exactly the same, that would be okay with me. Here goes the chickadee onto those branches there, and voila, these look marvelous. I'm using those acrylic blocks to just weight it down while I go ahead and take my psychedelic silvery happy birthday here that's going to be on one of the cards. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about the people that I'm giving it to. One, my good friend Lori, who loves bling and shine. She's like me that way. And so I'm starting to think, you know what, I think that's going to be for her, and go with the cardinal. I don't know why that was something that just came over me, but I thought that was the way it should be, and so that's what I did. I take some double-sided foam adhesive, that's to give some loft to the back of that card, figure out where I'm going to put my sentiment on the outside here, and then I get that background removed and put onto the card, making it really nice and wintry. And then I did the next one here for Todd. Now, Todd's birthday as well, between Christmas and New Year's. I took the bling factor is that this is glitter paper, but I did want to do it in black because I found like that seemed to speak to me in terms of a masculine card in the winter, and that the chickadee is in those muted tones. So I wanted to have something beautiful there as well. And I play around with where I want that to be, put it onto the card, and because this background has those little holes punched through it, I put the foam tape in a slightly different position because I don't want you to see it through, friends. This is magic after all. All right, so there we have it. I hope that you have enjoyed seeing how these cards came to life at hyperspeed, and I really look forward to showing you more crafting adventures as we go through. But remember, it's scientifically proven that celebrating birthdays is good for us. So friends, go celebrate. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.